They reached the abandoned inn and shivered. Ropes blocked the road and solar panels filled the empty parking lot, but the place was still quiet. Too quiet. The wind rustled through the nearby trees, blocking them from view of the road. He didn't want to go in. He hated these places. But his friends wanted a little adventure, so he tagged along. Maybe he might see something interesting, or at the very least, have a little adventure himself. What was the worst that could happen? He jumped and then froze on the spot. They were all alone, and yet he heard something inside the abandoned building. The voice of another person. Or perhaps not a person, but a... His entire body trembled. No, it couldn't be. Just his imagination. A wild animal ran past. Yeah, that had to be it. Just an animal. There wasn't a lot to see, and if he was entirely honest, he didn't want to see anymore. So they decided to move down the road to the nearby suspension bridge. It was said to be the most haunted area of all. Despite being a suspension bridge, it was incredibly sturdy. No rocking and swaying here. Not anymore, anyway. It was wide enough for two people to cross over standing side by side, and although they couldn't see too well in the darkness, they knew the water wasn't too far below. Not that he really wanted to fall in the first place, haunted or not. As they crossed over, two loud bangs sounded nearby. They jumped and nearly tipped over the edge. What on earth was that? It sounded like a hunter's gun, but it was after midnight and the surrounding areas were pitch black. Who could be hunting at such a time? And why? They proceeded a little slower, and as they reached the middle of the bridge, the temperature dramatically dropped. It was winter, and they were already wearing jackets, but this was beyond the usual cold of the season. Rubbing their arms, they continued across, silently praying for the best. They reached the other side and almost ran off the bridge. They'd made it. There was nothing but forest on the other side, and in the darkness, it seemed to beckon to them, drawing them into its depths. No houses over here, no people, nothing. Just endless trees. Another sound caused them to jump, this time something metallic. They froze, looking around for the source, but could see nothing. Fear ran through his veins. His friends looked just as terrified. Something creaked again. It sounded like steel wires twisting. They looked at each other. The bridge. Only this wasn't the type of bridge that could creak. They hightailed it back, silently praying that the bridge would hold and promising to themselves never to come back here again. Sonohara Dam is regarded as one of the most famous and dangerous of all ghost spots in Japan. It's a theme park of ghostly attractions, with enough to keep even the most veteran of ghost hunters occupied for the whole night, if not more. Its story is long and painful, and from that history, various spots around the dam became famous for their ghostly residents. In September 1947, Typhoon Kathleen tore through the Kanto region of Japan over a period of 9 days. By the time she was done, over 1,000 people had died, over 850 had gone missing, and another 1,500 were injured. Of those, Gunma Prefecture was especially hard hit, with over half the deaths coming from there alone. Landslides caused widespread devastation, and the banks of the Tone River flooded, causing even more destruction. While recovery efforts were underway, the government started to consider ways to mitigate such damage in the future, and decided upon building a dam. The first solid plans took form in 1953, and by 1958, the government had finally picked a location for it. They decided on Sonohara, a small area in Numata City. The only problem with this plan was there was a village where they wanted the dam to be. If they were to build the dam, They would need to relocate everyone, and not everyone wanted to be relocated. Villagers fought the government hard to retain their homes, but in the end, they were no match. The residents received compensation for their troubles, but they still had to move their entire village to a different location. Houses, businesses, graveyard, shrines and all. Many of these homes and businesses had been around for generations, and relocating the dead is never easy either. Rites were held to honour the spirits before moving their graves, but it's been said that in the rush to move them, not everyone received the proper rites. This left many of the spirits angry, and when the dam was built and the village finally flooded, those angry spirits continued to haunt the waters. Construction on the new Sonohara Dam was rocky. 11 workers died on the job before it was completed in 1965, nearly 2 decades after Typhoon Kathleen tore through the country and forced the government's hand. A memorial stone was placed on the dam dedicated to their memory, a sadly common occurrence from such large construction projects as this at the time. And that memorial stone is now one of several sites around the dam said to be haunted. Although, oddly enough, not by the men who died. The spirit of a woman is said to haunt the area near the memorial stone. If you're lucky enough, you might capture her face in photographs taken there. Or, if you're unlucky enough, come across her full form with your naked eyes. The spirit is said to be that of a woman who committed suicide at the dam, although nobody knows for sure who she is and why she's there. But she's just the start of the hauntings at Sonohara Dam. The death of the workers was only the beginning, and the submergence of Sonohara village didn't help matters. People started to whisper of the spirits lurking around the dam, and before long, those rumours grew to suicides. Something was driving people to the dam to take their lives. There are no official records of any suicides ever having taken place at the dam, but rumours will be rumours. With its tragic history, why wouldn't people be drawn there, after all? In addition to the woman at the memorial stone, there is a narrow tunnel nearby that's said to be filled with spirits. The mere look of it is frightening, and inside is narrow with a sloping curve, making it difficult to see more than a few meters ahead at all times. Almost as if the tunnel is about to swallow you whole, or perhaps collapse around you. If a car comes from the opposite direction while you're inside, there's almost no way to see them before they're right on you. So driving slow and extremely cautiously is of the utmost importance. The strange and creepy sounds that echo in the tunnel have also helped solidify it as one of the many haunted spots around the dam. Further north, you'll find the Suspension Bridge, considered by many to be the most haunted spot of all. The old bridge, destroyed when the dam was built, was a rickety old thing that took many lives, both human and animal. The wind from the mountains shook the bridge so much that if it struck while people were crossing, and people often used it to transport their cattle and horses to the other side, then they would plunge to their deaths below. The new bridge is a sturdy construction that no longer sways, but those who died on the old one continue to haunt it. This makes the bridge at Sonohara Dam one of the rare sites that has not only human spirits, but animal spirits as well. And many have reported seeing ghostly cows and horses at the site, in addition to hearing their footsteps across the bridge. A few hundred meters down the road is the final haunted location, the Touring Numata. This now abandoned building was once an inn, especially for bike travellers. It closed in 1998 for reasons unknown, and the building was left empty. At some point, solar panels were installed in the parking lot, but the roads leading in are now roped off to keep people out. Ghost hunters who have snuck into the building found furniture and tableware left as is, and the inn in a terrible state of disarray, perhaps further lending to rumours of it being haunted. These 4 spots make up the majority of Sonohara Dam's haunted locations. The deaths during construction and the submerged village have seemingly made the dam a beacon for ghosts. They love water and tragedy, after all. And there are stories of violence tracing all the way back to the Edo period, with villagers fighting across the old bridge and either dying upon it or falling to their deaths below. It would appear that, no matter what, Sonohara Dam was always destined to be haunted. But what do you guys think about this one? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you again next time.